What's up, y'all? It's Out the Box Kingdom Talk with me, Out the Box Kingdom, in the Kingdom Kitchen, eating healthy in the neighborhood. Well, today is day 6, right? And so today is day 6, which is Yom 6, which is the day before the Shabbat. So as you're, going on this narrow road in this path, you want to make sure that, according to scriptures, that you're completely rested on the Shabbat day or Shabbat day, which is, or you can spend time with your family. So, what's up, y'all? It's Out the Box Kingdom with me, Out the Box Kingdom. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Kingdom's Kitchen, eating healthy in the neighborhood. So I always say that. That's my little slogan. So you're probably like, okay, Kendra, so what are you doing today? Because I see you're placing all kinds of, goodies in front of me and some fresh vegetables and stuff like that. You got all this lovely things here. And you're probably like, what's really going on here? So this is what's going on. So today is the 6th day, which is before the Yom Shabbat, which is the day of official rest. So I try to get in a habit now where I try to make a big dish where, whether it's soup or something that, you can eat in it multiple times and you don't really supposed to be cooking on the Shabbat day. To try to, give Yahuah his respect, because that's actually the day he made for man, not man for the Shabbat. So that's the day he made for us. So why not honor a day that Yahuah himself has given us to just spend time with our families and stuff? But unfortunately, the world, especially the papacy and all of them, the Catholic Church has come in and literally distorted all that. So on Sunday, which is day 1 of the Hebrew calendar, it actually starts our week. They have had us to come in and worship the sun god, which is Nimrod. So you're thinking you're going in and you are worshiping the Most High Yah, but really you're worshiping another god. So that's another discussion for another video. So today, however, I am making, you've seen me make vegan chili before. You've seen me make curry, coconut curry, which was amazing. It wasn't too spicy or anything, but I had an amazing time making the coconut curry. I don't think I recorded it, so the next time I make it, I will make sure that I make that so you know how to do it. But today, however, Yahuah placed it in my spirit, to make some vegan lasagna, which I've never made vegan lasagna, but sometimes you have those days where you crave for pasta, but it's supposed to be healthy. So as you can see here, I have all my products that I'm going to use, and I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. Right now, I'm, peeling my onions because I just love onion. A pasta dish is not good if you don't have onion and have it loaded with garlic, because that just makes the pasta. So you're going to need a bulb of garlic. And I could have roasted this. Some people roast their garlics to give it that roast-like taste. But today I'm just going to just use, because I woke up pretty late. I went to bed late and I woke up pretty late. So it's already 3:21. So I have till, midnight. Well, yeah, till midnight, because that's actually when the Shabbat day start, which is the next day. If you think about it in scripture, day 7 started the Shabbat, the 7th day. It wasn't the 6th day evening going into the morning. So yeah. So anyway, I'm breaking apart my garlic cloves. So I believe, because I'm making my sauce too. I'm making my tomato sauce from scratch because to me, it tastes so much better when it's made versus store-bought. And sometimes I get it. People don't have time to do that. So they just rather go ahead and get the store-bought version. But the thing with the store-bought, you just want to make sure that it doesn't have a lot of sodium in there, that it has organic properties in there, seasonings in there, that it don't have like added coloring or sugar, because that's what a lot of like I think it's Prego. A lot of them have a lot of sugar in there, and that's why people is addicted to sugar now, and all the way down to the pasta. So like I said, so with my lasagna, I'm gonna show you what all I have, and I'm not making everything from scratch because, like I said, press for time. But I am a person real big on my ingredients. You should always read your ingredients. If it has like vegetable oil, canola oil, or sea oils in it, do not mess with it. Just kind of like leave it alone. Okay, so for my meat in my lasagna, I could have did like mushrooms or something like that, or walnut meat, but like I said, because I'm pressed for time, this is a really good I don't recommend eating this all the time, but it's the most organic vegan meat you're gonna get. So as you can see, let me see if I can find it. So you see in the back there, that's all the ingredients that's there, and I'm gonna turn it back over. They have their chicken as well. So I'm using 2 boxes of that so I can do the layers. And then we have the kite heel ricotta, which technically I could have made my ricotta cheese with macadamia nuts, lemon juice, nutritional yeast, along with onion powder, garlic powder, and stuff like that, and onion. So there's different ways, but however, once again, it's an alternative, and I'm gonna let you see what's all in it. So as you can see, it has almond milk, it has salt, enzymes, tardic acid, and culture. So which means it contains almonds. However, if you're a person you're allergic to almonds, then you can use cashew nuts or something like that. And then when I sprinkle the top of it, the Parmesan, and I'm just going to do like a little bit of it, but that's what they have in the back of it. So, and then for my mozzarella, once again, this, and this is what it has behind it. Just kind of let y'all see. Now for my seasonings, I've noticed when it comes to making your tomato sauce, you definitely want to try fresh basil. Basil tastes amazing, not just when you're doing like pesto, but when you're making like tomato sauce, this is the bomb.com. So I got fresh oregano, and I have fresh basil and fresh oregano to go into my tomato sauce. And of course, my tomato sauce is going to have fresh tomatoes. It's going to have bell pepper. It's going to have onions. I'm going to put shredded carrots in there. I'm going to put some celery in there as well. And I may just put some fresh cilantro in there as well. Once again, in my layers, like where my ricotta is, I'm going to shred my baby spinach up. But I'm going to shred it up. And this is going to go into the layers as well. And then I'm going to shred some basil and shred that on top so it can melt with the cheese. But this is the greens that's going to go in it as my vegetables. Also, in my ground beef, I'm going to also, or you might as well say some of my tomato sauce. I'm going to put some shiitake mushrooms and the rest of my mushrooms in there. So what I'm going to do is cut all this up, and I'll come back and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so we're back. So I done chopped up some of my stuff, and I'm now making the sauce. I'm gonna put all my stuff in the sauce. So I have my onions chopped here for what I'm going to mix with the vegetables, along with of course my garlic. And it's so interesting that when you're making, like I said, fresh tomato sauce, it is a wonderful, it just tastes better. It's just more fresh, and like what's in it, right? And you just add as you go. You put your seasonings in there. So I'm gonna do that in a few minutes. Right now I'm just gonna chop up my garlic right now. And I try not to do a lot of chopping on the videos because, yeah, some people probably like, that's kind of annoying to always be hearing a chopping noise. So that's why I try to pause it the last time. And plus, it's really hard to chop up onions because the pungent aroma of it. I love onions, but I'm telling you, that's how you know you got good onions, when you sit up there and you chopping it. And boy, oh boy, your eyes get to watering. Yes, yes, yes. So I like to put a lot of onions in my salads. I love to put a lot of onion and garlic in anything that I cook, because believe it or not, garlic is good for blood pressure. It lowers it. It's an antimicrobial. So if you're dealing with candida overload, any bacterial, it's an actual natural. Actually, these two, onion and garlic, are a natural antibiotic. Some people, I think it's Barbara O'Neill that tells us we should eat at least 1 up to 3 garlic cloves a day. And that's almost like your natural aspirin. Even though it may have your breath funky, it's worth it. I mean, Yahuah knows when he made these things to supply us. So that's why I tell people, when you hear some of these people, so-called health gurus, and going off to Dr. Sebi, because Dr. Sebi was the one that says that garlic is actually bad for you, can actually kill you. But garlic is actually listed in scripture. So you have to learn how to read the word for yourself and things like that. You have to learn to read the word for yourself, because if you just agreeing with anybody that's trying to say this is poisonous and all this other stuff, but however, you got all these other herbs that's coming up that's not even listed in scripture, right? I'm not saying that y'all didn't make it for medicinal purposes, you know what I'm saying? So those are things you just have to keep in mind. But on that note, I love garlic, I love my onion, and I just love the medicinal properties of it. Another thing too, a natural antibiotic, if you didn't know, I feel like I'm giving y'all a health lesson as I'm doing it, is sorry, I just got a brain fart for some reason. Golden seal and echinacea. Now, if you have a ragweed, so-called allergies, I would not recommend, or if your immune system is low, your immune system might respond to it like it's a threat. But those are 2 natural antibiotics as well. I was getting ready to say ginkgo biloba, but ginkgo biloba is really good for memory. I took that when I was in flight attendant school. And when I said I did the research, I was like, oh, I'm going to try this. So I purchased some, and man, it was amazing how it really helped me. So, like I said, if you're dealing with memory and stuff like that, and then you have also your lion's mane mushroom, that's really good for neurological. You have not just lion's mane, I think you got turkey tail, and a lot of the mushrooms are medicinal mushrooms, like chaga and all that stuff is really good for stuff. But lion's mane is mostly known for neurological repair. It has been known to actually help people recover from Alzheimer's and dementia. So that tells you right there. So that's why I like to cook with oyster mushrooms, lion's mane at times. I love to um, love to do that. And then you got also ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is really good for mental health, like to get you calm. If you're not a person that you like lavender too much, then ashwagandha is another thing that you can use. So it's all about doing your own personal research and taking care of the temple that Yahuah Hamashi, Yahuah has given us. And he tells us, do you not know that your body is the temple of the Ruach? So we have to take care of these things. And unfortunately, because the enemy has corrupted people and tricked people to think that the food that you're supposedly eating is the food. It's actually food when it's poison. The king's delicacies, the spirit of gluttonous and stuff like that. And that's what those buffets actually represent. Gluttony, because that's what they say, all you can eat buffet. Oh yeah, it's all you can eat. They're getting your money. And it's sad because, I don't have nothing against the other races, but I just find it quite interesting. A lot of the buffets are in the Black community once again, or the brown community, and it's ran by Asians. Like, why is that? But you're eating yourself to death technically, because they make sure it's a combination of your carbs, your starches, your fried food, because the rice is fried, the chicken is fried, the shrimp is fried, and it has everything on there, not chicken technically, but all the other things on there that's totally against Yah's command of what we're supposed to eat, like shrimp, lobster and all that other stuff. But then again, they have the imitation the imitation crab. And if y'all knew what that mess was made out of, y'all wouldn't want to eat it. That used to be my go-to. However, when I used to go to the buffet, when I didn't know any better about a lot of this stuff that, I'm coming into the knowledge of knowing. And yeah, that would be my go-to. I was like, yeah, we're going to the China buffet. And I already had my plate lined up. And I remember the last time I went to a China buffet, the idol of the dragon was right there at the door. And I went in with my friends. It was like late at night, and we was trying to find a place we could eat at. And that was still technically open around like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock that night. So we ended up going. And I sat there and ate, and all of a sudden I started getting a headache. And it wasn't because of the food, because I didn't eat that much. And that's when Yahuah was like, look around you. When I looked around, it was all kind of idols. I could see the idols, and I could just feel that toxic energy from those statues and stuff. And I was just telling them, I said, yeah, we need to go. I'm not feeling this anymore. I can't even enjoy my next plate of food, because it's just like you see these things and look who you paying homage to. Look who you taking the money I bless you with, and you're putting it into this idol, this dragon. We know who the dragon is, the serpent himself. So since then, I have not stepped foot in another Chinese buffet. But as I, started going, growing more in Yahuah, that's where I started realizing, oh, that's the spirit of gluttony that, people are going to eat, and they're literally eating themselves to death. And it's so funny that, boy, thank you, Yah. Isn't it interesting that it's on the day of the Shabbat, and Sunday, which is, sun worship day, is where you see the most traffic in buffets. Ain't that something? So, I was like, wow, yeah, the enemy is very sneaky. All families go there and eat. They make sure they do a little children all you can eat day. And now these, fast food restaurants are doing 50-cent burger day. You know what I'm saying? Like, we already know people that, are dealing with the spirit of gluttony. They're trying to lose weight, but they can't lose weight. But then their comfort is of fast food, and they're having a 50-cent burger day. I think that was Burger King or somebody. They already know what they're doing to the public, but yet the people still falling for it. And I'm quite sure it saddens the Father as well, because that's not what he wants for us. He never wanted that for us. He wants us to be healthy and fit. Now with me, I'm still dealing with a toe injury, but however, I know when that time comes and it gets completely healed, I will be out walking in my neighborhood with my mom. You know what I'm saying? So that's the goal. I didn't get to do it this summer because, what's going on with my toe. But it will happen in due time and due season. So as you can see, I'm putting like my celery sticks and all that stuff in here so they won't go bad or something like that. Me and my husband try to make sure we're not wasting any vegetables and stuff. So now this is where I'm gonna put my fresh oregano, fresh leaves of oregano in here, right? Because we're gonna blend all this up, honey, and I'm gonna put some seasoning in here too. But you always want to put some fresh herbs in there, especially basil. Because it just, I have the blender where you can actually cook and make hot soup in it after it has blended. It'll heat up real fast, which I'm not going to really show on here because it's just too loud. But I think I've showed it once before when I made a different recipe. Can't remember right now at the moment what that is, but so I'm making this fresh, putting my fresh oregano in here, and I could have put some fresh thyme in here, thyme, rosemary, all, the Italian seasons that you will put in here. But sometimes them herbs be costly, so that's why I'm praying and hoping to Yah that my garden outside, which I had started, but unfortunately, like I said, when my toe got hurt, it kind of set me back some. But I pray and hope that they survive or they're redeemable, or I just have to start over again. Sometimes we don't like starting over, but there's a time and season for everything. A time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to die, and a time to, a time to live, So I believe this been my seasons of dying to the flesh of what I knew or what I thought I knew about myself and about this world, and one thing I can honestly tell people is you don't want to get sat down by the Father. You want to be obedient, because he will definitely sit you down to get your attention. And it's not to hurt you or harm you or to say, oh, because people feel like when they get hurt or something like that and they have to sit down for months, that they're dealing with the spirit of delay, and they're quick to, blame the enemy. Oh, the enemy did this. But if you keep getting a rhema word and you're still helping other people, you're not getting yourself off the ground, Yahuah has a way of doing it. He can actually afflict you as well or allow things to happen. So that's where people fail to realize Yahuah will not be mocked. Man, some sea salt. Yahuah will not be mocked, right? He will not be mocked. I'm only going to add a little bit too, because, I'm going to blend it into the other stuff. So, but yeah, Yahuah will not be mocked. And when he tells you to do it and you're called and chosen, first of all, you don't want to be the one that gets replaced. And that's been one thing I'm like, yeah, please don't replace me with anybody else. Like, just order my steps like the righteous. Order my steps, yeah. Order my steps, you know. And that's what he's done thus far. That's where, you know, when I heard heard his voice say, you know, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Oops. So for the all-purpose seasoning, I use the 1/4 tablespoon. I don't know if you can see that. It's not going to. There it is. 1/4 tablespoon of the all-purpose seasoning. I'm up here running my mouth. And now I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. But yeah, when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, he would definitely sit you down. Because when he do that, he love you. At the same time, he definitely has need of you. And he don't have to use you, but that he wants to use you. You know what I'm saying? So just be grateful for that. And like I was saying once before, I'm using one teaspoon. So now I'm using the onion powder. Even though you're probably like, well, Kendra, you used you used, you know, the onion and garlic in there already, but still never hurts to add more seasoning to it. And I'm using now smoked paprika. And I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Because like I said, I'm a person, I like to add as I go. And sometimes you can add too much of a seasoning to something. You're just like, dude, I think I put too much. And I'm also going to put I think I'm gonna put, let's see. Now I'm gonna put another 1/2 teaspoon, and this time I'm using turmeric. If you don't know, turmeric is really good. It's an anti-inflammatory. Turmeric is just good for a lot of things, and I like to put it in my I love putting it in a lot of my recipes, especially curry. Curry is not good without turmeric. So I'm putting some cilantro in here as well, right? So I'm gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of that too, because it's just a dry herb. Make sure there's enough in there. And the Yahuah just reminds me, put some cumin in there. So if you don't know, a lot of people sometimes don't realize that that coriander is grinded up cilantro. So I'm gonna put a 1/2 tablespoon of cumin in there. Cumin is really good against the CV19 as well, if you didn't know that. So throw that out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my meat. As you can see, this is what it looks like in the bag. Go ahead and put my vegan meat in the pan so it can start cooking as well. Actually, no, hold on. Move this out the way. There's a lot going on here. That's one thing about the kitchen. I commend those people that can keep the kitchen clean as they're cooking. That is not me. I try. I can be a little messy artist at times. So I'm trying to get in the habit. My husband, however, does an excellent job. He's so good with order. And I just believe that's just a natural gift that Yahuah has given him. And plus he is the lead of the house to just have things in order. He clean as he goes. So when he's done with the kitchen, he is officially done with the kitchen. And so I just commend him on that. But my time will come when I have to. I have my own way of order. I'll try to keep things in order, but I can definitely tell when things are out of order. That's when I tend to, the house is out of order. That's when I can tell something's going on with me internally or spiritually. Something's off. I'm doing something in my own strength. So that's something we have to, women, men, or whoever, we have to keep that in mind, and that we care for ourselves, and we can't do everything. We're not assigned to do everything ourselves. That's where we have our Heavenly Father, our Kodesh Father, Adonai, Yahuah. But then, you have people that more likely live with you that you probably, because they're not on the same walk as you, feel like y'all can't use them to help you, but they're there for a reason. It's not just you being the example to the person of what it's like to walk with Yahuah, but they're there too. Y'all can use anybody to school anybody. So, don't discredit the people that's in your house. They may be in the world still, but there's going to come a time where they're going to become curious of the Yah that you serve. And that's your time to teach them, right? You're not going to be able to do everything for them. But however, you can be the example. And if they fall short and they realize they fall short, that's not for you to point fingers or anything. That's just like, right now, what's going on in the news is all this exposure going on, and people, now shaming Diddy and saying, well, I hope he get what he deserves. But when you judge that onto others, that's going to come back on you. You wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. So I know that when I watched some stuff like that yesterday, or when I saw his picture yesterday, I just wept. I actually wept because I could see the darkness in his eyes. Like it's just darkness. But I'm like, he's redeemable if he turns. And you know what? Y'all can use this opportunity like he did Paul and turn Diddy from his, wicked ways. So it's like I had to post the scripture up, like, do not exalt the downfall of wicked people. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Even when it comes to your enemies, don't do that. You're supposed to pray for them if you're saying you're a child of the Most High. Well, I'm done preaching. So I'm going to go over here and put this in the pot and let it cook some, and then I'm going to add the meat. So I can actually bring it over here now. Hallelujah. Right? That would be fair. So I got my noodles over there waiting. So I got to go ahead and get them in alignment too. But I'm just putting all my stuff in the pan. And I got to turn down some too because I have a gas stove. So, and then I got ceramic pots here. So if you're wondering, I got my ceramic pots off of Amazon. It was a nice set for like one something, but it's so worth it. So I have stainless steel, and then I have my ceramic pot. And so my ceramic pots are really good when it comes to when you don't want something to stick and not, But one thing about the ceramic pots, you have to cook it on low heat, not super high heat. You can, but not for a long time. So I got that going. And I have my wooden tools. I have some of the, what they call it, the silicones. So I go back and forth between my silicone things and my silicone utensils and my wooden utensils. So I'm just going to chop all this up here. Make sure I have all my mushrooms in there. So now what I'm going to do next is take what I put in a blender and I'm going to blend it. So I'm going to allow some of my veggies over there to cook some before I add the ground beef to it. because once I get done with my tomato sauce, I'm gonna pour that all in there, and then I'm gonna start doing the layering process of my lasagna. I got my oven already going on 350, and you're gonna cook the lasagna for 40 minutes. So just to kind of put that out there, but I don't think y'all need to really sit here and watch me cook this. I know y'all already know how to stir fry your veggies and stuff like that. So now that I'm doing this, I'm probably going to turn it up a little bit more, so I can kind of get this going, and then I'm going to put the meat in there. Actually, I can put the meat in there now, but I'm going to wait some. So I'm going to go over here and blend my sauce together, and because I don't want the blender, so you see everything is right here in the blender, and my seasons and stuff. So I don't want that to kind of irritate your ear. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So as you can see here, I got my meat all together. Got my tomato sauce. I had to add a little bit of tomato paste because my sauce kind of came like a turmeric color, but at least it's all in here. And so, of course, as a person, you want to make sure your sauce tastes right. And if you need to add a little sweetness to it, then that's when you add a little bit of sweetener to it. And that could be maple syrup, it could be agave or something like that. I wouldn't recommend you adding the white sugar because that's just bad. But you don't want to add a lot to it. You can add honey, you can add date syrup or whatever to sweeten it. So that's what you do. But this is the meat. So now we're going to go on to the next step. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to get my noodles over there, and we're going to start lining up and making the lasagna. Yay! That's like the most exciting part of a recipe, is when you're actually almost at the final touches of things. Because cooking is work. Cooking, I didn't realize it, as a child, that cooking is work. And just, seeing my mom having to come home and she'll be trying to fix dinner, and it's a lot, especially when you have a child. So we don't have children yet, but Yah willing, it will happen in His time. So, but we ain't no rush. All right, so let me get my meat, put it over here so I can get all this stuff in alignment. Make sure it's not on the edge, because that's what we don't want. So I've seen some people where they line it with the noodles, then the meat. So I think with me, I just didn't want the noodles to stick. So, but you want to line your noodles accordingly. And you just have to bear with me when it comes to the noodle construction, because like I said, I've never done this before. So it may come out right, it may not come out right, but my family, we still gonna eat. So that's all that matters, right? So you want to get your noodles and you want to line it up like that. And spread out your meat. I really believe this is going to be so good. This is where I'm gonna put a little bit of my spinach in here too. Just load it down with spinach, you know. So technically, when it comes to making lasagna, you're just going to repeat it. The next layer will be like the noodles with the ricotta on top of it. Then another layer of you know, the meat and noodles. So I'm going to finish doing this, or just kind of let y'all see the next layer. And then I'm going to stop it so I can pretty much finish doing what I'm doing. And I'll come back and let y'all see how it's going to look before I put it in the, or let's just say adding the mozzarella and stuff like that to it. So, but right now, because it's supposed to be like veggie lasagna, I want to make sure this thing is loaded down with all kinds of goodies, as in spinach, because that's the whole point. You want to have your greens in here somewhere. So now I'm going to add the next layer of noodles. And like I said, my noodles kind of got meshed all together, but that's okay. The work, the work is still going to get done, right? So I'm just pulling it apart, and I'm just going to layer it. Layer what I have, right? And if you hear talking in the background, it's because my mom is on the phone. She's actually in the den, but it's like close here to the kitchen. So you hear Annie talking in the background. That's what you hear. Not going crazy. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and layer all this. Yeah, my noodles are falling apart, but at the end of the day, I figure out a better way of how to cook lasagna noodles in a better pot, you know. But praise Yah for now, because we're gonna have some lasagna. And you just want to make sure you got it layered really well, you know, kind of covered. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I rinse my hands off a little bit. So now I'm going to take the ricotta cheese, and believe it or not, I may do this and put some basil, shred some basil on top of it, you know. So like I said, if you're a person that you have allergies or something like that towards almonds, I will find another alternative of how to make ricotta, and there's plenty of plant-based. There's plenty of plant-based. There's plenty of plant-based cheese recipes out there, recipe books. I found one so I could eventually learn how to make my own, cheese, ricotta cheese, or, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm doing, as you can see, is just scooping it out with the knife and just kind of spreading it where I want it to be. Because right now, you don't really want to mess up your layers. So you kind of want to just kind of spread it like that. Put some right here on this end. And I'm glad I got two packets of it, because let me tell you, I would have been like, dang, I should have got that other one. But no, we getting this done. We're getting this done. Hallelujah. So after it's spread like that, I'm going to take my basil right here. And just spread it, because it's going to be melted in there anyway. So, but you want to have flavor when it comes to food in general. So I'm real big about that. So I was trying to do like 3 layers, but I don't think 3 layers is going to get in this for real. It might, I don't know. I may just need to do 1, So I'm just sprinkling this all across here and all that basil in there. Yum, yum, yum. Right. And some more oregano. All right, so you're gonna get another layer. So now this is where I'm probably gonna cut off the camera. So I'll come back after I get done with this last layer, because it's the layer of meat. And then I'm gonna top it off with the cheese and stuff. So it's pretty much explainable. Once you get your layers on, you do another top layer of the pasta, and that's where you put the final, the final topping, which is the cheese and everything. So that's what you do. So I'm going to work with what I have, since all my noodles are trying to fall apart, and go finish up here. And I will say this, even if something does not turn out the way you want it to, like for instance, my noodles are falling apart, it's not a failure. It's the fact that you tried, you learn from your mistakes, and you just go from there. But it doesn't mean that you have failed, because the whole point of cooking is you're just experimenting. You're learning what you're good at, what you're not good at, or what you can keep trying at, and eventually it will get better, So what I could do here is leave it, but no, I'm going to add another layer. of meat. My mom says she's actually excited because my mom actually likes lasagna. So I was like, why not, give this a shot? Why not, make it, see how it turns out, You don't know if you don't try, right? So, you probably like, well, Kendra, are you going to put some more spinach in there? I mean, I could, but I'm probably not. Actually, I could. Hold on. Okay, so now I'm going to add the finishing touches now, which is the mozzarella cheese. And because I thought I was going to get to do multiple layers of it, but I guess not. I guess it ain't going to be a 3-layer, which is okay, because sometimes you can be doing too much. So I'm just finishing up the last bit of it, which is now cutting up this mozzarella cheese here and spreading it all over on top of it. I'm going to add some fresh basil, a little bit of Italian seasoning as well on top of it, and just really pray that this thing don't overcook. But yeah, cook it for like 40 minutes. So I got my cheese on top of it now. Make sure I put some on the side there, so nothing be left bare. I hope this cheese melts too. Okay. So that's pretty much it. That's how you make, to my understanding, that's how you make lasagna. So now I'm just gonna, like I said, just add some more fresh basil on top of it so it can have a nice aroma to it. And and if you got leftover meat, you can always put that in a nice Ziploc bag and save it for another occasion. Whether you can make that could easily turn into a sloppy Joe sandwich. Yeah, so don't throw your leftovers away. Some people be like, oh, well, I got this leftover. You got some people is looking in the trash for food, so don't be a waster of food, I'm putting some more, a little bit of freshness on top. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to add a little bit more of Italian seasoning.
on top of it too. All right, now it's time to put it in the oven, y'all. And the next time I show you is when everything will be done. So what's up, y'all? We're back. And this is how it turned out. I'm not a big fan of this type of cheese, so I probably won't be using that mozzarella cheese again because it did not melt the way I wanted it to, but we got lasagna, so that's all that matters. So all I have to do, I'm probably gonna let it cool down some before I cut it, or I may just go ahead and cut it because I'm kind of hungry. But this is my vegan lasagna. So you all have a Barak day. Tomorrow, like I said, is the Shabbat day. So this is definitely what I'm going to be eating with a side salad. And I'll see y'all next time in Kingdom Kitchen with Out the Box Kingdom Talk with me, Out the Box Kingdom. Shabbat Shalom.